cookies are sort of inspired from torta caprese, which is the chocolate and almond cake you get in Sicily. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 bowls. We've got some, we need egg whites and egg yolks. So let's put the whites in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to beat the yolks with some sugar. And then we're going to fold in this chocolate. It's very kind of loose. The idea being that, you know, the piece of chocolate kind of melt when you actually cook the cookie as opposed to sort of pouring it in. And it's probably not the most healthiest of recipe, but it has butter. But this recipe makes an awful lot of cookies, so there's a lot to go around. Okay, so we'll add the sugar to the yolks, and we're just going to whisk that up so you get this kind of creamy texture from the sugar and the yolks. So pop that in, all the sugar goes in, and then just put that to one side. And then we're going to just whisk that so it gets sort of really creamy consistency. So that's the base of the cookie, that's the sort of cookie dough. And then we're going to fold in our almonds. So we've got plenty of roasted, slightly half-roasted almonds. And then the chocolate sort of broken up in pieces because it's going to melt when we cook. So we just pop that all in. 70% cocoa solids. And then we're just going to fold all that together.
Aside from cooking, what are your other passions in life?
I've always loved music, and I've got a fantastic record collection that I've collected over the years. I was just sort of obsessed about sort of jazz and soul and funk music, and you know, kind of built a really big collection of all these kind of what they call rare grooves now, which was at the time, you know, we used to go to clubs, and I used to be at DJing and really getting into it because the only way of getting it was going to sort of record fairs and, you know, finding these sort of obscure record shops and spending hours and lots of money trying to find these records. Okay, so that's our the almonds and the chocolate all sort of mixed together. It's quite dense, that, so we're just going to whisk up our egg whites. So before I add the egg whites, I'm just going to add a bit of the melted butter. So it's just literally just been put on the heat and turned off. So the butter's not really cooked, just sort of melted. Pour that all in. And then just, it's quite dense because all that chocolate and nuts.
So do you ever cook with your kids, Max and Lola?
Yeah, I mean, we do, and Natalie's mother's fantastic with the kids. She sort of always bakes with the kids, but they're kind of more eaters these days, so they kind of quite enjoy the eating. But I don't know. I think Lola's got a bit of a cook in her. Max is a bit of a bon vivant, I think, and loves to eat. But I think Lola's she enjoys cooking at school. Now we're going to fold in the egg whites. It's quite a good idea to actually just a bit like making mayonnaise. You get 1 spoonful of the egg white and just sort of start folding it in and adding the egg whites in sort of smaller batches rather than all in one go, because it makes it sort of just kind of like splits it. So you want to keep it reasonably light, even though there's loads of chocolate and loads of nuts in this recipe. Okay, then we just add a few more. What you don't want is big lumps of egg white, so try and get it all out if you can. And the nice thing is you've got those big chunks of chocolate. They're going to melt and make the most fantastic cookie. A good cookie should be sort of crispy on the outside and chewy in the middle. So that's it, that's all ready to go. So all we need now is a tray. There's a little bit of silicone paper on there. And we're just going to do sort of as big as you like, really. I mean, just sort of big dollops of the cookie mixture. It's just got some silicone paper, so it's basically non-stick, oven-proof paper.
So would you ever serve anything like this in your restaurant?
Yeah, I probably would actually. I'd serve something like this, but with maybe serve it with like a really nice boozy ice cream, like a Vinsanto ice cream or something, and serve the a few kind of cookies or biscotti or something, you know, with it. But this is the sort of stuff you'd make with the kids on a Sunday afternoon, and the smell of cookies in an oven. I mean, literally, you know, you just you go where the smells go. The smell is. I'm being a little bit generous here. I'm just going to pop those in the oven, and they're going to go in at 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. Now, I've cooked some beforehand, so let's have a look at those. So, here they are. They've been on a cooling rack. It's very important to put them on a cooling rack. If you don't, they'll go soggy. And I'm going to serve them on another plate. I know we had lots of plates, but this is Lola's plate. She made on her birthday, and it's very, very good and very artistic. So we're going to serve the cookies on there. So the cookies have been on a rack, so they're nice and cool and crisp. And those big pieces of chocolate, you can see they're just sort of waiting to be bitten into. And they're kind of slightly bitter chocolate. So that is the perfect way to finish off a sundae. Homemade chocolate and almond cookies.